Okay guys, I thought I'd give you a bit of a video on an in-depth look at the thyroid gland. We're going to look at its function, identifying problems and corrective care. I look after a lot of thyroid patients. Their doctors unfortunately miss the mark in a lot of areas with the thyroid. They either run too small thyroid panels, or they don't think that other things are linked to it, and they tend to just look at the thyroid in isolation, and when they do, they don't tend to look at it that well. So hopefully this video gives you a bit more of an idea what's going on with your thyroid, if you have any problems with it, and what you can do about it. Okay, so how it works. Alright, we'll start on the left. So you've got your hypothalamus, which is basically your brain. That gets stimulated by outside things, such as or inside and outside stresses. So your immune system molecules from your gut can affect it. Your neurotransmitters from your gut and also your brain as well can affect it. Outside stresses, the thyroid hates stress. So it can be like oxidative stress, too many sugars in your diet, too late at nights, too much emotional worry, too much financial stress, can be toxins coming from the outside world, and then also hormones. So hormones will also affect, depending on what hormones are floating around your body, they will affect other hormones levels as well. So those four things at the top will ultimately affect what your brain is signaling and what it's doing and what it's trying to do inside the body. So you can see the hypothalamus will speak to the pituitary. It releases TRH hormone, which signals to the pituitary to start releasing TSH, which is thyroid stimulating hormone. As a result of that, the thyroid will start spitting out T4 and T3. Usually T4 about 93% of that, T3 is about 7%. It also produces T1 and T2. Okay, now you can see on the orange marker there that those various levels of thyroid hormone, T4 and T3 floating around the body, can downregulate the thyroid production, which can downregulate the pituitary and can downregulate the hypothalamus. So those hormone levels and tides that are floating through your body will go back up and speak to each of those glands and affect the hormone levels and the stimulation to other glands in the body as a result. So it's a sort of cascading series of events going up and down based on that. Okay, if we follow the red line across to the bottom, you'll see that the liver converts a lot of T4 to free T3. Free T3 is the active form of thyroid hormone. That's what actually triggers your various changes in your cells. So you can see that having your liver cleared is quite important to your overall activation of thyroid hormones and conversion and stuff like that as well. Okay, so if you follow from the thyroid, that white line going up, that's what a thyroid follicle looks like, just at the top there. Okay, it has receptors on it for TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Interestingly enough, those receptors need a lot of vitamin A in the diet to be able to operate correctly. The thyroid will produce its own thyroid binding globulin on the right there, and then that will spit out T3 and T4 in bound, so inactive. Okay, other things that the thyroid follicles need is stuff like iodide from your diet, tyrosine, and also an enzyme known as TPO for it all to happen properly. Okay, if we go back down to the liver, we can see that the liver converts a lot of T4 to free T3. It also produces a lot of reverse T3, you see there on the right, RT3. That goes off to the gut and actually gets activated in the gut. So you can see that a lot of your reverse T3 will get activated back to T3 in your gut and make it more active. So if you've got a bit of a gut issue, you're still going to be circulating a lot of reverse T3, which is in direct opposition to your free and active T3. Okay, so you can see a couple of things here. The glands need to be in the right environment with the right nutrients. Your gut health needs to be pretty good. Your liver needs to be pretty good. If we go up to the cellular level after that, you see that happy cell there smiling. Free T3 comes out of the gut, out of the liver, and basically impacts the cell and makes the various changes, the increase in metabolic rate and all that sort of stuff associated with the thyroid. So you can see that there's a fair few things there that are going on in regards to what the various thyroid hormone levels are in the body. Okay, so what can go wrong? Okay, so basically if we go back, you can have those outside stresses or internal stresses in the top right of the hypothalamus. So you can have like plenty of immune system molecules that are affecting the output in various neurotransmitter imbalances. You might have a constant flurry of outside stresses impacting your life the whole time, and various other hormone levels in your body will all affect the release of TRH from the hypothalamus, which will talk to the pituitary. Okay, so the pituitary can have its own problems in releasing thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH. So it can be a second issue with your pituitary. The third issue is actually with the thyroid itself. So is it producing hormones correctly? Has it got the right nutrition? Is it converting them? Is it producing them properly and stuff like that? If we go over to number say 5 at the liver, you can have a conversion issue, so you might not be converting the inactive T4 to the active T3, so it can be a liver issue. If we go up to number 6, or on the right, is the gut, so that reverse T3 being activated in the gut back to free T3. If your gut health is not particularly good, you won't activate that reverse T3 into normal T3, so you'll bring down your overall thyroid levels in your body just from having a poor functioning gut. Okay, if we go up to 7 at the top, you can see that we also, as stated, we need iodine and tyrosine in our diet, as well as an enzyme called TPO, which naturally occurs inside the body. So you can have a nutritional deficiency there. Also, you'll see number 7 in the middle there on the receptor sites for the thyroid stimulating hormone, that it also needs vitamin A. So 7 gets to the point across that you might have nutritional imbalances that are affecting various functions of the thyroid, and therefore the amount of hormones that are being produced by the thyroid. Okay, what are we up to? Number 8, yeah, you can have receptor issues, so the actual receptor itself might be a bit tired or struggling or poor nutrition or whatever at that level, and it's not actually, the thyroid's not actually getting into that thyroid follicle. Okay, and then number 9 at the cellular level, that we've discussed before, you might have like mitochondrial issues or some sort of issue inside the cell, oxidative stress through eating incorrectly for your metabolic type, a couple of other reasons that can actually affect how well the thyroid activates and changes stuff based on the T3 floating around the cell itself. So you can see that there's basically 9 levels of problems that can happen with the thyroid. I bet you if you took that chart down to your local GP, you would probably not even understand most of it. They tend to only look at the thyroid itself, so they have a look at issue number 3. If you're lucky, they might have a look at issue number 2, but they very rarely look at other stuff like your liver, what's actually happening at the cell level, the health of your gut, your nutritional status, and various other things that can obviously affect the amount of thyroid hormone floating around your body. Okay, so show that one to your GP if you find that you do have a thyroid problem, and get his answers on all 9 problems, and you'll be in a much better place. Okay, so what can you do about it? Okay, so obviously there's outside stuff that affects the brain in general, the neurotransmitters, the other hormones floating around the body, the immune system molecules coming from your gut, outside stresses as mentioned, financial, emotional stress, late nights, alcohol, too much workload, all those will affect the thyroid function. In fact, the thyroid's quite a delicate gland. It does get massively impacted by toxins, outside stresses, and other various processes going on inside the body. The best way to have a look at that and set up the right principles that it's going to make your thyroid happy is to do the home and body makeover program. That largely gives your body the right nutrition, possibly for the first time in your life, because it's based on what your actual metabolism needs. And it also reduces all your toxins as well in your environment, around your home, in your office. So the home and body makeover program is really cheap. It's only about $300. It's 29 steps. Takes you about 4 to 6 weeks to get through the program, and we guarantee that you'll feel stacks better at the end of that, because it's starting to give your body all the raw ingredients that it needs and getting rid of everything out of your life that tends to piss your body off. Okay, then the next thing you can look at is to actually look at the thyroid directly. So you might have had a blood test at your GP. As a minimum on a thyroid blood panel, we would like to see TSH, T4, T3, free T3 and free T4. So like I said, that's an absolute minimum thyroid blood panel that you should do to be able to get sense of what's going on at various levels and processes inside your body. So if your GP is not running all those, please request for him to run those. Often they're very hesitant because they think they know what's going on, but most of the clients that come and see me, their doctor hasn't been able to help them, and it's this sort of analysis that gets them moving forward. So that's as a bare minimum. Okay, as discussed, there can be binding issues. That comes back to your liver health overall and your thyroid binding globulin levels. Okay, so lots of thyroid binding globulin levels in your body will reduce the amount of thyroid hormone bioavailable to your cells, okay, because it's bound by that globulin. Okay, there's other conversion issues. So the clearer your liver is, the better your nutrition is, and the more action of your enzymes, then the better the conversion issues are going to be. That you get damaged receptor sites as well sometimes. That can be nutritionally related, toxin related, or other issue related. And then you get cell function, so the The role of thyroid inside the cell itself can have problems due to mitochondria issues or dysfunction, oxidative stress as mentioned, eating too many sugars for your metabolic type, or will affect cell function as well. So yeah, a few problems can happen with it all. Okay, so how to get back in control of your thyroid. Okay, so first thing is to test. Find out what's actually going on. Yeah, there's two ways to do that. You can do it through questionnaires and lab tests. Usually a combination of the two is the better one. There's a free health check questionnaire on my website, which will have a look at whether you're hyperthyroid, which is an overactive thyroid, or hypothyroid, an underactive thyroid. So it'll give you an indication on what's going on there. There's also there's 23 things we look at in that free health check questionnaire. Everything from diet, toxins, thyroid health, blood sugars, adrenal health, the whole lot. So really well worth that questionnaire. It takes about half an hour of your time, and you'll yield a lot of information out of it. Okay, you can also do a blood test as mentioned. Just make sure you get those minimum markers in. If you've got a blood test there already and you're interested, you can send it to me. I'll have a look, put in our reference ranges, and I can tell you maybe a bit more than what your GP has told you what's going on. And then as mentioned, if you did find that you have a problem or you feel you've got a thyroid dysfunction, then please do the home and body makeover program. Okay, that's going to put your thyroid in the right environment with the right nutrition to be able to get it to function properly. Okay, so a nice simple program, 29 steps, takes about 4 to 6 weeks as mentioned. Now often there's other things that can go on with the thyroid as well, so a couple of other tests you can do later on is like food sensitivity testing. You have to identify your offending foods that are causing inflammation and other various breakdown processes in your body. So eating sensitized foods, especially a lot of them, will definitely detract from your health. There's parasite testing. These unwelcome guests that we can be harboring, they can also infect various processes in the body that can impact the thyroid, so any parasites need to be identified and removed. There's also immune system testing. As we said, that brain will largely get affected by immune system molecules floating around in your blood. They're emanating from your gut due to bacterial and fungal imbalances. So you've got a nice simple little saliva test that can work out exactly what level your immune system's at and what's upsetting it. So some really good tests for you. But start with the questionnaire, work out what sort of problems you got, and it'll track all your symptoms, and then do the home and body makeover program to correct it. You'll find that will fix your health on many levels. You'll end up with more energy, better skin, better sleep. Just strengthens the body from the inside out because it's all perfectly matched to you and your metabolism. Okay, so hopefully that helped you a little bit more with your thyroid problems. In summary, if you can answer the questionnaire to help identify your symptoms. Often when we ask a client or you get asked what's the problem, it's very hard to come up with a list of things, so that questionnaire will help guide you and ask you various questions, and you'll be able to analyse what your symptoms mean to the inside of your body. That's available free of charge on the website as stated, the holisticlifestylecenter.com. Get tested to see what's going on, so get that minimum blood thyroid panel done by your GP. Have a look at the ranges and then see what's going on in that regard, and then do the home and body makeover program as mentioned, 29 steps to a much better you. Alright, so hopefully that helped you a little bit more with your thyroid, and if you're having difficulties with your GP over it, then print out that slide, take the 9 possible problems that can go on with your thyroid, and just have a discussion with him on each. If he's a little bit clueless in regards to it, you've also got a free 20-minute consult with us where we can point out what's going on and the best approach forward for you. Alright, well thanks for listening guys, I'll see you on the next video. Okay, bye.